is the next one.
Perfect opportunity to give you guys a little backstory about myself and my love for these four-eyed fox bodies. A long time ago in a land far away, when I was a young kid, I was absolutely obsessed with four-eyed Mustangs. My first mechanic job was with a great guy who kind of taught me a lot about mechanics, but also had the same passion for these cars. And he just took me along, and you know, it was amazing seeing, like, you go pick up a car and it's in such a state, and you just put some parts on it, clean it all up, make it look pretty, and now you have a complete car, you know, and you could flip that car and make some money on it, or have some fun with it, or take some parts off it and make another car better. I was just, I was obsessed and totally enthralled in the whole thing. And part of my nature is always being different. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I think that's where the affection for the Mercury Capri came in, because it was a Mustang, you know, platform. It was the Fox body powertrain, but it was just different. It had the fenders, had the rear quarter flares, it had the great hatch. In some years, it had that front end that was just mean. And yeah, it's been a lifelong journey collecting, buying, and selling, parting out Mercury Capris. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the next project I have going on. The very first test video I did was for that brown car. That was sorted out. I'll go into detail about that in another video. I actually sold it to the guy who sold me the car. You know, it was swapped over to a V8. He was so excited that he was just like, I'll buy it back. So he bought it back. So that's actually gone, and it allowed me to focus my attention on these other projects I have. So I'm gonna walk you through my little shop here and show you what I got cooking, show you what I'm working on, and what I want to take care of, some tasks I wanna bang out in the future. And yeah, I'm hoping to keep it all on this channel. It's new, and I understand there's so much Mustang content on YouTube, and it's great because it's kind of helped me kind of get the bug again and jump back in. I do have another YouTube channel with guitar related content. I'm a guitar player as well. So I'm a mechanic by day, guitar player at night, and then I mess with, you know, Fox bodies when I can. But I've just gotten back into it after probably a 10-year break, and it was nice. And, you know, the guitar thing kind of took over, but now I'm into it and I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm gonna show you the very first one. I'll actually show you my first car in a minute, but I'm gonna talk to you about this project that does run. I gotta work out a couple of bugs, but it's really cool. It's a wild swap, so let's get into it. So as I said, most of the cars have been sitting for the last, you know, 10 years in a garage, in storage, but not in the perfect conditions. This one is a really cool one. It's a 79, it's black, and it's got an 86 SVO powertrain in it. This car is originally a 79 Turbo RS. So these cars did come with a carbureted 2.3 turbo, 4-speed S-Rod tranny, and it's pretty wild. When I got this car, it was just a roller. The front frame was in it, obviously, and the rear end was in it, but it was just a roller. I had nothing else. And just by luck, I don't know what it was, about 2 weeks into getting this car, somebody posted half of an SVO, a 1986 SVO. It basically was cut right at the driver's seat, and I had the tranny, I had everything. So I figured it was a great opportunity to get everything I needed to swap over. So I bought the SVO, I did the swap, and you can see here, it's pretty much just bone stock. I didn't really do anything. The powertrain from the SVO did sit for a while, so the fuel injectors were a little troublesome. Had to do a lot of cleaning just to get it to run. And it's basically hot wired in, so I don't have any dash harness. No dash harness, no relays in the dash, nothing going back to the fuel pump, so all the wiring was kind of just made up to work. Only mods I really did do is I did the Stinger 3-inch downpipe. Not sure if you can see it from there. I did a Magnaflow muffler. I just put a stock clutch back in it, and now I'm going to discuss some of the issues I am having, and hopefully I can take you guys along while we straighten it out. As I said, I just kind of hot wired the powertrain in. I didn't have anything as far as dash harness, the relays, even the you know, the premium fuel switch. I had no way to make that work because I didn't think at the time to take all of that stuff. And, you know, believe it or not, once I pulled the motor and tranny out of the half of the SVO, I was able to sell the carcass for more than what I paid for the motor and tranny. So in my head at that time, I scored. I didn't think to take, you know, the center console and switches, the dash harness, because that would all help me. Even the gauge cluster that has the boost gauge in it, I didn't really think to take that, and I did move it along. But it's okay, because there are ways around it. First things first, when I laid the fuel system in, I wasn't really happy with the way I had the filtering of the pumps, or the filtering of the pump set up. I'm still not happy with that, and that's one thing I need to address. I need to take care of that. I really want to try to get the premium fuel switch working in the center console here. Not sure if I can. One way or another, I will just have it sitting in premium mode and just put 93 only in here. It has no vacuum leaks or anything like that, but it does have a small tip in, which is, you know, rolling into the throttle, stumble. But once you're in the throttle, it'll just go. It'll keep pulling. So I think that's maybe down to the injectors. All of the ignition stuff I did do. The powertrain had 40,000 miles on it. The car was absolutely clean where it wasn't hit. It was beautiful, and the gauges, you know, like I said, I should have kept them, but I didn't. And then the only other thing is getting a better feeling clutch pedal. I have done the dog bone delete mod. If you Google that, it's a really popular mod. The 2.3 have this little mini clutch cable that connects the throwout bearing rod that basically flexes the fingers of the clutch in, and that can snap over time. So I did do that delete with a 1/4 inch long bolt and modified that. But I'm having problems getting proper engagement of the clutch pedal. I like to feel that, you know, like you really get a good quadrant set up. And I've been going back and forth with quadrants forever, and it's becoming a pain in the ass, but I'm going to get to it. So those are some of the things we have with this project. Other than that, it does run. When I put the car together, I did all new brakes all around, ball joints, struts, shocks. So, you know, mechanically, the car's ready to go. It just needs finishing up. And at the time, I just kind of was moving around. I had so many things going on. I got it to run. I got it to a point where it ran, drove, and shifted, and I just parked it and, you know, left it here and didn't even pay any attention to it. And now I'm coming back to it. I'm realizing how cool this car is. Camel interior, you know, all of the turbocharged badges and the RS badge is on the dash plaque. All the dash is beautiful. It needs a radio, but I can work on that. Steering wheel is a little banged up, but it's still the original one that's there. Horn, that works. We got an SVO shifter and shift knob, shift boot. So I'm running a PE computer. I'm not sure if there's anybody on here watching it yet because the channel is so new. But if anybody has any insight on some of the things I spoke about, I have no problem listening. I mean, I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm not a dumb dude. Some people's opinions may vary. I'm not a dumb guy, and I have a good brain to figure things out. But any insight, if anybody wants to chime in and give me some tips, that would be great. I would appreciate it, man. And I am stoked on this one because I want to button this up. I want to get this one done and just have some fun with it. It's a great car, and yeah, it's just wild. Keeping it turbo, but kind of like resto-modding it in a way, and having that 2.3 turbo fuel injected from an 86 and a 79 car and making all that stuff work. I really like swaps. You'll see as the channel goes on, I'm big into swapping things, and I can't leave stuff alone. My other Capri over here, I'm going to show you, that's had everything from a 302 to a 351 to a mod motor to nitrous to a blower, everything you can think of. I've put in everything in that, and, you know, that's been through the ringer. That poor car's, I'm hoping to resurrect it. So as you can see, that was just putting the battery in. I probably haven't started this car up in 3 years. One thing you do, it does run. So I think a nice touch was putting the Hurst SVO knob in there, and that's even the shifter off that tranny as well. Hopefully, my goal is to get these switches in here working as they should. Probably won't have the fog lights. I can maybe use that for my fan throw because I'm also having issues with the fan coming on. I need to find what controls that coming out of the harness. But this would be great to work. It obviously won't work factory spec, but you can wire it up to make it work that way. You know, I do have a universal radio that will fit these mounting holes. That's going to go in. You can see the PE computer down there just doing some testing. It's a cool camel color interior. There's that sweet dash plaque there. All right, so one of my clutch issues is I'm thinking from a mechanic standpoint, when I bought the powertrain, it sat in a garage with, you know, the clutch pedal hooked up and all that. So I'm wondering if the clutch pedal is stretched, okay? I've tried quadrants. I've even tried another cable. I'm just trying to, I'm hoping for the best here, but this is this is another clutch cable, and I'm not sure if this is actually the one. There are two lengths. There's a 60-inch and a 48-inch, I believe. I'm not sure what this one actually is, but if it's the shorter one, I may go with that. My feeling is the clutch pedal just feels like mush. It feels soft all the way down. No real kind of feeling of engagement, and it lets up quite high. So I do have a firewall adjuster. I do have a quadrant in there. I'm gonna get that installed soon. And also something cool that happened is I actually have an SVO center console. Strange because I had no idea, but I could potentially paint that and put that in this car. Who knows? I'm sure it's worth a couple of bucks to somebody. It's got a little bang up there. So that's car number one. I spoke a little bit about it. The issues that we're gonna address, we have the coolant fan. We want that to come on with the computer. We want to mock up the premium fuel switch to work when we want it to. We want to get a better feeling clutch pedal. You know, that's one thing. Probably swap the injectors because they were a little shady going in, but I got them to work. But they could either need a good cleaning. I do have an injector cleaning machine, or they could just need a set of injectors, and that's fine. I'll put the money into it to get it there. We obviously want to verify everything is charging, coolant temps are good, and boost is actually working properly. I don't know if I need to clean the vane meter. That's something I should do, or maybe even just swap it out. But again, any of you SVO guys, this is basically just an 86 SVO swapped into a car. I just don't have the dash harness, so it's wired in. If you found any fixes for your cooling fans, you found any fixes for a better clutch pedal, please leave it down below. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to apply that stuff to this project to get this car back on the road. We're going to address the fuel system too. Probably going to do that a little better. And you know, the way it is now, it's still the carbureted tank, and I'm using it as basically a draw through. I'm just pulling through the sender into a fuel pump out into the fuel rail. So I want to do some PTFE line with some good fittings, a good filter, maybe before and after filter. Keep the inline pump there, but you can hear the pump kind of struggling, and I probably I relate that to some crap at the bottom of the tank that probably got sucked up in there. And it's really ignorant on my part, but again, I was just trying to get the car together. This car has no miles of me driving it. It's just got parked once it was running. You know, and I'm not deterred away from it because for the most part, the car is all together. It's got exhaust on it. It's got a great brake pedal. The clutch does function. The fuel system does work. The ignition works. Everything works. It just needs a little 5% cleaning up here or there. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish it because, you know, this car actually got buffed at one point and it looked amazing. So I hope to get back to that point where I can at least wash it, drive it, and then buff it out and just have some fun with it. So that's this first project. Will I get to this one first? I'll probably collect parts and data because my very, very first Capri over here, which I'll talk about soon in a video, is getting a real extensive swap, and I actually have all of the parts collected now. So I'd rather get that done first. But this is just, you know, basically fly-by-wire introduction to what's going on, what I'm doing. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. I know I am. I'm going to get this thing done, I promise. But again, any help from anybody would be great down below. Any kind of help would be appreciated. I am a mechanic by trade. I'm not an idiot. Just sometimes you get overwhelmed with life. And now I'm back to it 10 years later, and I'm ready to finish these cars. So I thank you guys for checking out. As I say in the other channel, like, share, and subscribe. If you're into this kind of stuff and you want to hang out and work on some 4-ride Fox bodies, I would totally appreciate it. I hope everybody has a good one. Peace.